Starting off, here we have my Scrapflex lightsaber made by Sebastian over at Starlight Sabers. I had him pretty much go to town, do whatever he wanted. All I requested was to have the aux port on the bottom, because this is the saber that I use to record all of my YouTube videos. Here we have my non-patent Folmer vintage Graflex. This was all done up by Nate over at Iron Destiny Props. This is hands down my favorite saber in my collection and is probably the most expensive as of right now. If I had to take any saber with me in a hurricane or a fire, this would 100% be the one. Here we have a Roman Props MPP. This is all replica parts besides the internals and the PCB underneath the bubble strip. This was also done by Nate at Iron Destiny Props. He's done a lot of my builds, so the next few are all done by him as well. This beast of a saber is the MK1 by Roman Props. Hands down the heaviest saber I own. This one has no vintage parts, all replica, and Nate made it to where you cannot tell. This thing looks amazing. Highly recommend him for your MK1. Ew! DV6. This is a vintage ink Graflex with the Wanawanga kit, and this thing is gross. Look at it. That's all I can really say about this one. I love it though. Nate put a lot of time in making it look exactly like the screen used one. The V2 from Return of the Jedi. This is a Dave Parkin kit, and it is all put together by Ayrton at Apollo Industries. This one has a lot of cool vintage parts on it. Cone knob, boot stud, fishing wire. This one is always getting pulled out of the display case. And the V1 Hero. This is also a Dave P kit, and I got this secondhand from Ayrton. I believe, from what I remember, he told me that Halliwax painted this one. Under the clamp card, it has a reveal board, which is in a deleted scene in Return of the Jedi of Luke building a saber. On to the prequels. Here I just have a DM1 by Korbanth. It might be Elf Sabers as well, I'm not sure, but it's the one that's currently on their website. I had some fun painting in the grips and weathering the saber. This one's not really that accurate, but it's doing it for me. Here's an OWK from Korbanth. This one is now technically an older model since they just got a new one, but I am getting the new KR set, the episode 1 and episode 2, which I'm pretty excited for. In the meantime, this one's perfectly fine for display. This is the Watto's Junkyard Tusken Slayer. This is technically a B grade that I stole this off eBay for like $150. Pretty sure that it was not supposed to be on there, but I have it now, and this thing is a fingerprint magnet. Here is a super old 89 Sabers Mace Windu hilt. My good buddy Brian at Mid-Ohio Jedi Order, he gladly sold me this. I was looking for one for the longest time. There was just a time period where you just couldn't find Mace Windu hilts. Not really the biggest fan of the saber, but I needed one for the collection. The Mr. Tyrannous from SP Sabers and Watto's Junkyard. I've been really looking forward to getting this hilt. Just got it recently. I love it. Always wanted a Count Dooku saber. And there was a few that you could get at the time, but this was the one I was really waiting for. The Grandmaster from CC Sabers. My good buddy Sir James sold me this hilt. This thing is tiny. Definitely the smallest hilt in my collection. Obviously, it's Yoda's saber, but yeah. This one is actually installed with Profi, and it has a 3/4 blade, which is really small. The 7 Chambers Aniflex Elite. I remember having to wait, I think right about maybe a little over a year for this, but you know, now having it, I really like it. It's super heavy. It's chrome-plated brass. Not the heaviest saber in my collection, but definitely one of them. I believe this is a 89 OWK3. I think that's what they're called. I got this from Korbanth. They have a newer model now, so this is technically outdated. I really like the plating on this one, the brass, the copper. It looks really good. Everyone needs a Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan hilt. Look at this little dude, this little guy. This is a really old, I think it's the 89 Emperor. I'm not sure exactly what they called it, but this one is installed with the Profi. It takes a 1-inch blade. Pretty cool. I got it from Sir James. He gave it to me for a really good price. This one I could talk about all day. This is hands down my favorite saber, favorite version of the Graflex. This one in particular is done by Nate at Iron Destiny Props. We used a vintage ink. This is the saber that really got me into the hobby. As silly as it sounds, I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for this damn thing. Having so much fun making sound fonts for everybody. Alright, this thing is sick. This is the SP Sabers and Phoenix Props Darkness V3. This was actually gifted to me by my awesome buddy Jeremy at Solo Sabers. Everybody loves Jeremy, let's be real. Yeah, we traded. He gave me this for a sound font, a custom sound font I made for him. But yeah, this thing is awesome. I love this thing. This chonker. Look at this thick boy. This is the Light by Phoenix Props. Yeah, I got it on eBay for like $450, maybe like 6 months ago, 7 months ago. I don't know. It's cool. I needed a bent solo, and this is, I think, the best one available right now. This one is one of my favorites because it is a Roman Props Graflex, and it has the KR Sabers conversion kit for the Rise of Skywalker, which in that movie they actually used a Roman Props Graflex for the hero. This one is all done up by Iron Destiny Props. I know he changed the leather and probably a couple things here and there, but he killed the weathering job on this. This is my Dar-Krey hilt from KR Sabers, and I sent it over to my good buddy Benji at Nerfherder Customs. I had him weather it all and do the heat staining on the emitters. Wasn't really planning on getting this one, but as you can see, my collection has been growing, and now I've been really just trying to get all of the live action hilts, so it came down to getting this one, and I'm honestly glad I did, because once I got it back from Benji, I take this one out of the case all the time. The Princess LO from KR Sabers. This one's always the one that any of my normie friends come over and want to look at a lightsaber in my collection. Usually this one's always their favorite. It is very beautiful. This is probably the nicest looking saber. I actually got this one installed from Saber Dave, who is now Padawan Outpost. This one I was super excited to get when I pre-ordered this. This is the Rey Scavenger, also from KR Sabers, and I actually got this one weathered by Multiverse Props, and it was part of the collaboration with KR Sabers. This one's really cool because it has these fins that open up with the switch. Yeah, this was like the main reason I wanted this hilt. Ever since the Darksaber showed up in The Mandalorian, it has probably been in my top 5 favorite hilts. This is made by Korbanth and Elf Sabers. Jeremy from Solo Sabers actually made the chassis specifically for me because I requested a CFX install, and then we sent it all over to Benji of Nerfherder Customs, and he installed it for me. This thing is awesome. The Thrawn Hunters by KR Sabers and One Replicas. One of my favorite episodes of The Mandalorian. I was super excited to get this set. I actually pre-ordered it with the Scavenger hilt at the same time. Super excited for the Ahsoka show coming out later this year. Boom! Retribution from Shadow Foil Props and Phoenix Props. Man, the Kenobi show, I like the Kenobi show. Not my favorite, but I really liked Reva's hilt, and if any other companies are going to be making some Inquisitor hilts, I'm probably going to get those ones too. Super stoked to have this thing on display. KR Sabers and Korbanth Desert Wanderer. This one I had a ton of fun with because I actually got it as a raw kit and ended up painting and weathering it all myself. Had a ton of fun looking up pictures from the show, getting this grenade grip as accurate as I could. Yeah, this one was awesome. Here we have a 2002 Mastered Replicas A New Hope Vader saber, and the significance of this and why I have it right here is because it's actually confirmed to be the belt hanger for Vader in the Kenobi show. So I had to get this one. I found it on eBay for a really good price. This I don't think has a name. It was gifted to me by Saber Project. This was actually used in their fan film Rise of the Last Intern, which I actually did all the lightsaber sounds for it. So afterwards they sent me one of the props that they used, which is pretty cool. Definitely go check it out here on YouTube. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody knows how much I love Sabertrio. In my opinion, they have the most consistent sound quality throughout all of their sabers, so I could always trust using one of theirs to make sound fonts with. So this one is my custom acid-etched Vahlken. I let them pretty much do whatever they wanted. All I requested was just to have my logo put on. And yeah, here's the Aeryn. The last few sabers I have here are all done by Sabertrio. This one's nice. This one's one of the first ones I ended up getting, and it's actually really heavy. I think it's one of the heavier ones out of the group I have. Really like the thin neck design, but it also has really good blade depth because of the extended emitter. Yep, Sabertrio made a Krosgaard. This thing is pretty cool. I think I'm actually going to end up sending it back to them at some point because they just started doing powder coating and different kinds of weathering and stuff, so I'll probably end up getting it more stylized like Kylo Ren's saber. I'd really enjoy seeing Sabertrio's take on that kind of painting and weathering. The Arclyte. This one, it looks like a flashlight. I really like this design though because, yeah, there's not really much about it. It's nice. It's slim. It has a really good choke point. This thing's very, very comfortable. Probably the most comfortable Sabertrio. And the Sabertrio Senza. Obviously very inspired by Jedi Fallen Order, Cal Kestis. The grip is nice. I really like the shrouds. This version I had to get the OLED screen because I really wouldn't get it on any other saber. I just think it's really cool that they have the OLED screen on the outside of the saber when usually it's on the inside. And last but not least, we have the Daemos. I'm not sure how to say it, but yep, obviously super inspired by Fallen Order, and yeah, I think it's really cool. The claw, well, you know, I feel like that's probably the selling point for most people. I really like the copper coloring of this hilt. And that's it. That's my entire collection as of now. I do have some things out with a couple people. Iron Destiny is doing a couple projects for me. Jeremy of Solo Sabers is doing some projects. Nerfherder Custom's doing some projects for me. I never do videos like this. I'm always just doing my font demos and stuff, but I figured this would be a lot of fun to do, and it's been asked a couple times. Anyways, thanks for checking out my collection, and let me know what you think down below.